Hi ladies, welcome to Essential Talks, a podcast created by mums for mums with the hope to uplift and inspire. Today I'm extremely excited to bring you our first ever episode, and we are meeting with Laura, who is the founder of the 5am Mama. Laura is going to take us through her journey of how the 5am Mama came about and also give us a bit of insight in her motherhood journey. I'm excited for you guys to see this one, and I hope you're excited too, so stay tuned and we can't wait to bring this episode to you. So Laura, I think we will start with some quick fire questions. So the first question is, if you was a superhero, what would your superpower be and why?
When I've thought about this before, because I have thought about this before, I've always gone with flying. I think flying would be the best superpower because you could just get everywhere so quickly, and then you'd also have a really good view of
What's
of
going
the world. Yeah. So for no other reason than I think it would be really cool and that it would save time in traffic.
Okay, second one. So tell me something that people don't typically know about you.
So, people know me for running my business and being a mum, but what a lot of people don't know is I actually still work full time as well. So I've been a social media manager for over 10 years now, working with some of the biggest brands in the country, and I still do that full time. So it's a lot to juggle, but I'm still really enjoying it. So I didn't want to give it up just yet.
Wow, I mean, that blows my mind even more because I just thought you was like doing the 5am club full time, but to hear that you do the 9 to 5, the business and motherhood, like I think you already are a super woman, to be fair.
I
Are you
need to
sure you're not
fly.
flying? Oh no, that's really good, amazing. Okay, so last one then. So what was your first ever job, talking on the sort of job front?
First ever job was a waitress, and I think it was one of those kind of Saturday jobs after school and in the evenings and weekends, and I was terrible at it. Was not a good waitress. I had several occasions where I dropped people's food.
Oh God.
So yeah, not my favorite, but it was good to just kind of get a bit of work experience and earn some pocket money on the weekend. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, mine was, I think, well, yours was more exciting than mine. Mine was a paper round, actually.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so literally we'll go door to door, put the papers in, and yeah, it wasn't as probably more, I think working in a restaurant was a bit more glamorous than a paper round on a rainy Sunday. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining. As I said, I think it's, as I said, it's great to hear about your background, because obviously you're the owner of the 5am Mama Club. And it would be great to sort of hear your journey and how you got into this entrepreneurial sort of spirit, and also how you juggle motherhood and business side by side, because I think each of them in themselves are an actual full-on juggling act. Um,
Yeah.
and obviously now I'm knowing about your 9 to 5, it'll just be it'll be great to hear. Maybe with the first question, sort of how did you get into business? What inspired you to sort of start your business?
Yeah, so I had the idea when I was on maternity leave with my second daughter. Um, when I was on maternity leave the first time round for my first daughter, I felt like everything I saw on social media was so perfect, and it made me feel really awful about how I was feeling, and I felt really isolated and alone. And then when I had my second daughter, I had the issue of a lot of early starts. She was not a good sleeper. Actually, neither of them were, but we had a lot of 5am wake ups. And I just thought to myself, I can't be the only one going through this. I can't be the only one who's not had the perfect experience of having babies. And so I thought, well, let me start something online that kind of helps bring people together, like a community, to help people know that they're not alone in what they're going through. But then also, I wanted that creative outlet for myself because, when you go from being quite ambitious and working and building a career for yourself, and then you go into being on maternity leave, everything kind of stops, and you and your interests get completely pushed to the side to just focus on the baby and looking after the baby and becoming mum. And I really struggled with that kind of loss of identity myself, and I really wanted to get a little bit of that back. So it kind of gave me that creative outlet to do something for myself rather than just being a mum 24 hours a day. So that was kind of, yeah, where the idea came from.
No, amazing. I think that's really inspiring because, like you, I sort of lost my identity in my motherhood journey after I had my little one. And I can so relate that I felt like there wasn't really many sort of platforms out there, and you kind of feel alone and feel like you're kind of going through that. So for you to create a platform for women who are going through something similar, and then as you said, it created an outlet for yourself. It was like you was helping others, but at the same time helping yourself get through that challenging time. So that's
Yeah, it's definitely a form of therapy, and sometimes I actually, create some content, and then I think I need to listen to my own advice here because this is something I need to put into practice.
I know. I think we all do as mothers, actually. We can give like, I feel like mothers can give the best advice, but then we don't really take the advice that we give. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, so you've got the 9 to 5 as well then, and obviously the business and motherhood. How do you go about juggling all of that and feeling like you're accomplished in each? Do you ever feel like you're accomplished in each?
I mean, I feel like I'm one of those, is it a swan or a duck that looks like they're okay, but then underneath the water just paddling, paddling, paddling the whole time. It is a juggle. I'm just kind of I mean, I'm quite lucky now that my first daughter started school, so at least that gives me time during the day. And my second daughter's at nursery, so I do have you know the weekdays I dedicate to just non-stop getting through all the jobs I have to do, and I do work from home as well, so that's quite handy for being flexible with the business and with my job. But then weekends I always just kind of put all of the work stuff to one side and just focus on the girls and make sure that I'm giving them my full attention, and really mindful that I don't want to just be saying like, "Oh, I can't do that with you right now. I've got to do some work." I try and cram as much into the working week as possible so that I give them the best of me at the weekends and the evenings when they get home from school and nursery as well. Because yeah, they don't really kind of understand when mummy has to go on the computer and things like that. They just want me to be with them and be present and play with them. So yeah, but then there's also times after they go to bed where I go back on the laptop and I sort of carry on finishing some bits and bobs. So it's
Mm.
just, yeah, it is a juggle, but
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
enjoying it. And I think when you enjoy something, it doesn't necessarily feel like hard work or too much of a burden. So
Yeah, definitely. And I guess going back to the first question where you answered and said you kind of lost yourself, and during that process of motherhood, what sort of sparked that ignition in you almost to just sort of get up and go again? Like, what was there like a turning point where you just thought, you know what, I need to get Laura back? What was that turning point?
yeah, I mean, I think I just felt like I was missing something, and I can't remember how far I was into maternity leave. I think the fog had passed of the first few months, and I was getting a bit more of a routine with my daughter's, feeding and naps and things like that. And I just thought, oh, I just can't imagine going back to work and then that just being what I do for the rest of my life, because we didn't plan on having a third. So that was my last maternity leave, and it just felt like that was the last kind of career break as such that I would have. And I just really did not like the idea of just going back and just being in the workplace, in the corporate world for the next 30 years or so. So yeah, I don't know, I just kind of thought one day, let me just look into this. I've had an idea. Let me just see if it's possible. Let me just see if I can do it. And then I think the best thing is to just go for it, really. Like, just try, just put yourself out there and see what response you get. And then, yeah, it just kind of goes from there.
Yeah, definitely. And leading on the word responses, did you ever feel like a sense of judgment from people when, because you know, sometimes the motherhood community, obviously, I feel myself, from what I've experienced, you know, it's been really welcoming and nurturing and, you know, women encouraging and inspiring each other. But then you also get a little corner of the community where it can be quite judgmental, unfortunately. Did you ever experience that, you know, when it comes to you wanting to be obviously the best mother that you can be, but then also wanting to do something for yourself? Did you ever feel that sense of judgment from anybody?
Not so much with the business,
Mm.
but when I had my first daughter, I went to a few of those kind of mum and baby sensory groups and the music, groups and things like that, just to fill some time during the day. And I absolutely hated them for that exact reason, was that, everyone was talking about, "Oh, is your baby sleeping through the night? Oh, how are they feeding?" Like, oh, just all these little comments, and I was like, "No, no, it's really bad." And and you just feel like you're doing something wrong because
Yeah.
everybody else seems to be doing great and, like, thriving and having an amazing time, and I'm there just, like, with my daughter just crying constantly, like disrupting the whole class, and she hadn't had a nap, and she was breastfeeding, but she would only do it in a certain position in private, which you'd never do it with anybody else watching. And it was just like all these things I had going on, and it was really stressful for me. I really, really didn't like it. And I did come away just feeling worse about myself and feeling like everybody was judging me, that I was doing a terrible job. Um, so yeah, not so much with the business side of things, but definitely like in general, just mum kind of things at the start. And with my second daughter, I had her during COVID, so there was no groups, and I was so happy about that. I was like, thank God I don't have to go to those mum and baby groups this time.
You had a perfect excuse not to go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, it was very different the second time.
No, I can imagine. And how sort of when it comes to you dealing with your self-care and your sort of mental health and self-love, like how do you even find the time? Like, you know, for mums who are busy and want to do other stuff outside of motherhood, what advice would you give to them to sort of find the time to also put yourself in the mix on your to-do list, so to say?
Yeah, I think this is really important, and it's something that I definitely didn't prioritize enough in the beginning, but now I've just got a couple of things that I love to do for myself, and I just make sure that if nothing else, I get my nails done once a month. That's something that I always did before, and then when I had children, I think it was like a year when I was on maternity leave, I didn't have my nails done, and it's just a tiny thing, but it just makes me feel more like myself to just have like nice nails, and just takes less than an hour going to the nail shop and getting them done, but it's just that time on my own that I can just not be with people needing me, that I can just sit and have them done. And so that's something I make sure I do every month. And then I've actually just started running again, and I'm actually annoyed because I've got a cold at the moment, which is stopping me from going out because I've not been feeling well this weekend. But I've signed up to a marathon in April, which is a huge challenge for me. I've never done a marathon, never even done a 10K. So now that's something that I'm doing for my own mental health, and just giving me that kind of, it just gives you a boost. I think once you start exercising, you kind of feel like you get into a groove with it, and then it just makes you feel better afterwards as well. So I do the school run, and then as soon as I get home, go for my run. Um, and then get back and just get on with the day after that. It just makes me feel so much better than if I kind of skip it, and or the days when I don't do the run, I just feel like a bit more sluggish. So I think it just has a great way of clearing your head and just giving you that space. Even when I'm running, I just think about all sorts of things, and then when I get home, I'm just like raring to go for the day. So yeah, that's something that I started recently doing as well. But I think it's just making sure you have just one or two things that you do for yourself, and then obviously having the childcare in place is not always easy, but just trying to prioritize that a little bit within your day as well just kind of
Yeah.
helps.
No, definitely. And good luck with the marathon, by the way.
Thank you.
When you said that, that literally made me scared for myself. I kind of pictured myself trying to do a marathon for some reason, and I'm not a runner at all. So hats off to you. Like, well done.
My sister-in-law signed up for it because she suffered with cancer last year. So she's now, it's kind of, she used to be a marathon runner before. She did loads and loads of different ones. And so she's doing, it's the Brighton Marathon. She signed up for it. And then I had this moment where it was just after I'd done my work with pandas, where I created an umbrella for them and sold it for charity. So I was kind of on a high from all of that. And I was like, let me do it with you. I'm going to sign up for it and I'll run for pandas and I'll raise loads of money for them and it'll be great. And now I'm thinking, oh my God, the reality's kicked in. I
Yeah,
actually have to
you
do
have to do
this.
it.
And it's
Yeah.
a really long way. So
I know, no, but you can
yeah,
do it the same way you do your motherhood, your business. Just put it in that same sort of category. You
yeah,
can
I'll
do it.
get through it somehow, even if I end up
Yeah,
walking most of the way.
or crawling through the finish
Yeah,
line.
yeah,
Yeah, as long as you make it, that's all that matters.
yeah.
Okay, so last question, Laura, then. So, what advice would you give to fellow mums who want to start their own business but feel like they maybe don't have the time, maybe the confidence, to do so, especially when, trying to fit in their motherhood journey and other things going on around them? How would you sort of tell them to pursue that business and go for it?
I think if you think about your own mental health and you think, if it will give you something that will then make you feel better, make you feel like there's more balance in your life, then you're going to be a better mum for it. Because this is something that I learned, was that I thought that I had to just give all of myself to the children and just be like the best mum ever. But I realized that I wasn't being the best mum ever, because I had almost this resentment inside me that I had lost who I was and I'd given up everything that was important to me, just to be a mum. And then, that then translated into me getting kind of overstimulated and angry and just burn out from just constantly giving myself all the time. I'd get to the end of the day and feel like I'd not had anything done for myself at all. So I think if you're struggling with feelings of guilt, just remember that actually, if you're doing something for yourself that's making you feel better and helping you get that balance right, then you are going to be a better mum when you're with the children. And I would rather, like I said before, like the weekends, I am 100% with them and I am just giving myself to them and being the best mum that I can possibly be. But then during the week, I get that time to then concentrate on my business and put my mind to things that matter to me and stimulate my brain in a different way to what being a mum is. So it's about finding that balance. And I think if you've got an idea and it's going to give you that spark back that makes you feel like yourself again, then you have to just go with it and not feel guilty about doing it.
No, I think I can completely relate to that answer because I think, like you, during the beginning of my motherhood journey, like I said, I felt just overwhelmed. I felt like I lost myself during the process. But I think it's amazing to have conversations like this with, other women who are doing amazing things like business and, motherhood as well, to just hear that, it's something that they went through as well. Because, I mean, we would have known that we both experienced the same thing if we hadn't had this conversation. So, I'm happy that we have, in order to let other women know out there that they may be going through it, but they're not alone in this journey, and to look at two women hopefully who are coming out the other side of it, and yeah, just being a better self and a better mother for being a better individual as well. So no, completely agree. Thanks for sharing that, Laura.
Thank
But
you.
I think that is the end, and I do appreciate your time. And I hope these answers that you have given and the questions will help to inspire other women. But last question, I know I said that was the last question, but where can people find you? I mean, that's the most important question. Where can they find you? What is your website? And yeah, how can they connect?
Yeah, so the website is the 5ammama.com. So you can find all of the clothing and everything I've got for sale on the website. But then my social media handles are the 5am.mama on Instagram and TikTok.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much again, Laura, and I'm sure they'll be seeing a lot more from you.
Thank
I
you.
hope you enjoyed that episode, and I hope you feel as empowered as I do by hearing about Laura's journey to being the founder of the 5am Mama. We'll be bringing out a new episode every month, and the next episode is going to be with Zoe, who is the founder of Move Through, a platform dedicated to giving parents advice. So stay tuned. Our next episode will be airing on the 1st of January 2024. I can't believe I'm talking about 2024. It's crazy, but we can't wait for you guys to see that episode. So don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.